As news spreads about Collin Daniel Richards brutally murdering an innocent college student from Iowa State while she was golfing, questions are starting to pop up that are very troubling when it's considering the profile of such a person. Take, for instance, that he committed this act in the middle of the day, in daylight, and he had spoke to people previously about a desire to murder and rape somebody. Not only that, when you visit his Facebook page, his cover photo is an artistic meme that talks about murder. These are some of the classic signs leading up to for someone to commit such a crime. But real quick, let's take a small profile of the murderer. Richards had lived in small towns throughout western Iowa, residing with his mother, father, and grandparents at different times. He ended up in Ames in January 2017 when he was placed in a halfway house after serving time in prison for violating his probation. He had convictions for burglary, theft, criminal mischief, and harassment. Looking at the crimes there will give you a profile of the killer. Obviously, he had lived with different parents, didn't have much of any authority in his life. And if you go on to kind of the criminal mind that he had, the convictions for burglary means entitlement. He was willing to take whatever he wanted and use it. So we know he was entitled. Theft, same thing. Criminal mischief. But the key one there is harassment. When you read into this, he did things to other women. One of them, he wrapped his arm around and choked. He's threatened to shoot people at a store who were going to turn him in for burglary. This guy is the same guy who murdered someone in broad daylight. And it's that entitlement behind his other crimes and the harassment of women and the threatening of other people's lives that leads you to believe that he saw her just like he saw the things he stole and the people he harassed, and he wanted to do something, and he was entitled enough and sick enough to do it. So it's very concerning. And as I've said before, he was living homeless nearby, and while we should feed the homeless and have compassion, and not all homeless people are killers, a lot of the time these guys do have an extensive criminal record, and people who are near them in the area need to be careful and need to watch out about the people they're around. It's very sad all the way around. It's heartbreaking for the mom and the family and the university and her teammates. I believe she was going to be a professional golfer. She was the Women's Athlete of the Year at Iowa State. And it's just disgusting and awful. But more so, instead of just looking at that, I just wanted to take a quick second and look at his profile. Somebody who had killing on his mind all the way. You know, when you see these things on Facebook or you hear people say these things like that, profilers and FBI agents and law enforcement say do not ignore that, because it's not normal for someone to be so obsessed with killing. When you look at people's crimes, they have crimes of entitlement and crimes of passion and crimes where they are constantly invading people's space or personal life or safety. It is concerning. It doesn't always lead to murder, but it can build a profile on someone. So just be careful out there. Ladies, keep your head on a swivel of what's around you. We're living in a dangerous time where narcissists and sociopaths and psychopaths are on the rise. And it's time to be able to build a profile on people so we can be safer in communities and in the country. So until next time, stay safe.